there, and welcome back to another episode of Tea with Kimberly. I wanted to share 10 tips on how to stay on track. With that new energy after a birthday, maybe, or a new year, or a fresh season, we're raring to go. And then maybe a few days later, we peter out. So I have some ideas on how to stay on track. This was actually a request from a YouTube viewer. So thank you. You know who you are, Miss Helen, for this request. Okay, number one, set clear goals. What do you want? What are your goals? One thing we did in the coterie is we pulled together a bingo card. So it's this idea of like putting our goals on a bingo card, and then we can check them off as the year goes on. And then see if we get a bingo, or maybe hopefully we fill up the whole card as we think about our goals. And it can be as simple as, see a live performance, right? It's not necessarily something you have to do. It's something you get to experience. I like to think of goals also a lot about experiences. Number two is prioritize your tasks. So I like to focus on the small things that don't necessarily, because I can check them off, right? That don't necessarily bring me toward bigger goals. So focus on those big goals. You probably know Stephen Covey's work, the seven habits of highly effective people. And it's like focus on the big rocks, right? That's where you want to focus. So what are your priorities for that day, for that week, for the month, year? Next is schedule it. Put it into your planner, whatever that might be. So I'm looking over here at my notes, right? So developing a daily or weekly schedule to organize your time effectively. I've got a system, right, where I'll put in, okay, here are the different hats that I wear, and then the tasks that go into those. And then underneath are the daily to-dos for that particular day. And then after that is the schedule, right? So you can swap this around too, which I like from the day book. So it's just thinking about, okay, what is my schedule? Where do I have to be when? What are the main tasks for that day? And then for that week and the different hats you wear, what go into them, right? The different groupings. Breaking down your goals, really important. So rather than write a novel, design a dress, it might be get thread and learn to sew. Or with a novel, it might be open a Word document and start brainstorming some ideas, right? So thinking about how do we break things down to make them a bit more tangible. Using a planner, I am a paper girl, all about the planner. And then some people like digital, that works great. So whatever works for you, but have a system if you can. Number six, establish routine habits. So I've got in my book, Year of Tranquility, the 15 healthy habits. And I've done videos on this also. Now, within those, it's just kind of like my ideal version, right? It's my mindful eating, savoring a soak in the tub, things that you're already doing, but having these habits that build on each other. Maybe you brush your teeth, then you do some skincare, and then you take your vitamins or your medications, whatever it is. So you're stacking on top of each other and having some routine habits in your life. And it might even be like I start my day always with a cup of tea and a little bit of journaling after my skincare routine and making my bed and, all these things that help set you up for success in the day. Number seven is stay flexible because I know we have the best intentions and yet life happens. So if you're knocked off course or you get sick or a loved one gets sick and you need to take care of them, know that that happens, right? And we may have to readjust our timelines or our to-dos for that day. And that's absolutely fine. And give yourself compassion for that. Number eight is set milestones. So celebrate those small victories along the way. Maybe it's I went to the store and I got some fabric, I got some thread, I got a pattern. Those are steps in the direction of designing a dress. And so honoring these and recognizing your achievements and maybe treating yourself to something. I'm all about candles. I'm trying to see if I have one here. I have so many candles. I think here is a yummy one that was a gift from a friend, Joe Malone. Roses. So, things like this can make such a difference in just nurturing and supporting and giving yourself a little pat on the back. Number nine, stay organized. So, keeping your physical and digital spaces organized. Like my desktop has so much on it, and I try to keep it down to where it's not overlaying on each other. But, it works for me. So, for you, what does organized look like or feel like? Do you have stacks of books? Do you like to have them all on the shelf and color coded or coded by different themes, which I have in my space? I've got them all like, writing, mindfulness, entrepreneurship, mindfulness and writing, more of that, ballet. So it's like having all of these things kind of grouped together. But there is something about staying organized and having all your tools within reach. Number 10, accountability buddies. So, this can be a really helpful tool to stay on track and to feel accountable. And the studies show that it actually does make us more likely to do things, along with writing things down. So, having an accountability partner where maybe you check in with daily, maybe check in weekly, monthly, annually, of just like, here's what's on my radar for now. This is where I'd like your support, just allowing me to check in, let you know how it's going. I want to hear from you. How are things going? Are you on track? Right. So these are 10 ideas to stay on track for building dreams, creating projects, creating, and manifesting. And that goes along with creating because we have to do things for that, what it is that you want to have more of in your life. So, number one, set clear goals. Two, prioritize those tasks. Three, create a schedule. Four, break down those goals into little baby action steps. Bought thread, check. Use a planner or digital tool, whatever works for you, use it. Establish routine habits, those things that you just do regularly. They're part of your routine. You almost don't even have to think about it. Stay flexible. Set milestones, stay organized, and get an accountability partner or buddy that you can check in with to see how things are going. I hope these are helpful and help you stay on track. And the next episode of Tea with Kimberly will be 11 through 20 on tips to help you stay on track in the season ahead. Thanks for tuning in.